Tim's wants this bounty. Oh, he gets pushed back. He did get the bounty room, but will he pay for it with his life? First strike down onto the low ground, then he's okay.
So that fight, there was quite a bit of miscommunication with Raven and Cuckoo, because Raven went in hard after the team has dispersed, and he's a Timbersaw. He can't go in hard like that, but the Shadow Fiend also went in together, and the Shadow Fiend was much more in a susceptible position. So I honestly think that Raven, or rather Cuckoo, didn't have to die there, but he did.
Yeah, and Cuckoo after that fight just immediately queues up a force step. Ooh. March in a little bit of trouble. TP's actually still on cooldown, and the Wildwing Ripper is looking to peck his eyes out. Can they see him? No, he's actually surrounded by trees. Alright. Very, very tense moment for him, but he's gonna get out of there. But what else is going on? Death Prophet, not gonna complete the Veil, interestingly enough. Gonna leave that to the Puck, and will instead be queuing up a Blink Dagger and a BKB. Yep, very interesting. I guess the nice thing about having the Oracle in this situation is you can almost build a little bit more suicidally, right? Like to follow up on the Clockwork. Clockwork gets a hook, you just pop ulti and blink in, and then rely on your Oracle ulting you to make you unkillable, instead of having to build a ton of survivability.
A lot of the SCA DP players really love the Blink Dagger as an offensive item. Not only is it really good for your Spear Siphon, but like you mentioned, also very good for your ultimate. The closer you are to a target, the more damage that your ultimate will do, because it takes less distance for your ghost to hit the target and then travel back to you and then go back out to hit the target again.
Yeah, your ghosts have to reset back to you to get another attack, which is why you see people stand right on top of a tower, and it does way more damage. So,
for example, Abed, he generally goes for Blink Dagger if it's safe enough for him to do so.
And Death Prophet as well. I mean, she doesn't necessarily have big catch problems, but you do often see things like Yules and being used reasonably offensively to help set up for your team. We are going to have a hook in here into the Silence as well, along with the Cogs, but Tim's might still be able to get the Burst Strike off. The root was just a little bit late, and he will be able to escape. That's a reasonably big commitment. Over at the mid lane, Cuckoo just laying in with the damage. The Kimberloo going to take that HP and run for it right before the Requiem went off. Cuckoo does have his Force Staff up now. Oh, a little bit of damage being done. March hot on his heels, but he's going to be okay.
Speaking of Sunder, it feels like TNC is going to run into the same issue that they had in Game 1 of the series, which is Shadow Fiend, or rather, Terrorblade is going to be able to get off his Sunder, and that's going to be an issue. I'm not sure if they have enough damage to kill him twice, especially if the damage is really coming in from people like Timbersaw, who isn't necessarily about like huge bursts of damage. I mean, he does have some bursts, but not like 100 nothing, you know?
Yeah, it's going to be tough. And that's also where the Oracle factor comes into play, right? Ooh, March in the middle of 5 heroes at the moment. Can he play his way out of this? I'm gonna drop out the Dream Coil, silence into 147 as well. That's a lot used. Vacuum back. There's the grip. Where's the help? Hookshot goes in. Burst Strike catches both, however. Tim's gonna put the nail in the coffin as Playhard gets trapped inside of his own cogs. Meanwhile, over at mid, double damage on the Death Prophet. Does manage to finish off the tier 1, and Terrorblade farming at the same time over at bottom, but 2 quick picks and a quick tier 2 tower for TNC. Nice rotation.
By the way, that is the first tier 1 tower that Geek Fam has taken in 18 minutes of gameplay with Exorcism and Metamorphosis. That just shows you that how much on top of things that TNC are as a team. And as a result, look at the net worth differential between the 5th position player and the 4th position player. They are just up simply because they're doing a much better job in controlling the map.
Do you think part of that is this Timbersaw last pick? Like, we're seeing Raven TPing around a lot, shoving lanes. I feel like the lane shove on TNC was made just that little bit better than what Geek Fam have. Not that Geek Fam's shove is bad, right? All 3 of their cores are pretty decent at pushing out lanes, but TNC just nuked down waves so quickly on all 3 of their heroes. So it feels like they've managed to get the edge on map control through that.
Yeah, it feels like the Timbersaw pick has really counteracted what the Puck normally does in this game, and then some.
Yeah.
The Puck unable to really shove lanes as efficiently as Timber.
Big smoke once again. They will find Tim's here on his Sand King. He's got 17-1 charges, but won't even bother using it. Sam H just going to break that Dream Coil. Should be able to force staff himself down onto the low ground. He'll be okay.
Interesting to see the Sand King also queuing up a 4-staff instead of a blink. Oh, never mind. He has a blink finish on the courier.
Okay. Right.
Flying. I thought he just is going first item.
Just mega poor.
Yeah.
As well. Yeah. No, Tim's has managed to find some farm. There's quite a lot of space on the map, like we've been saying, right? The cores are shoving lanes and farming the dire jungle, so I would imagine he's been finding a little bit of space over in the Radiant side of the map.
Yep.
Is it going to be a Pike for the SF? Yes, it will be. It's already completed for Cuckoo. Timbersaw now going to be going back for his Bloodstone. I mean, not really too shocking of an item to see Raven picking it up. What else?
By the way, this game is very, very close, at least in the cores, right? The core essentially have all the same amount of gold, and the only net worth differential is made up by the supports. So, especially because the net worth differentials on the supports, when a team fight happens, I think both teams pretty much have an equal chance of winning it. Depends on positioning and stuff like that.
Yeah, and both teams have potential ways to like stop someone on the enemy team from getting off any spells at all. You can picture a Fiend's Grip or a Blink Burrow followed by an immediate burst from the Timber on the TNC side, or on the Geek Fam side, you know, there could be a really good puck initiation or a silence coming out of the Death Prophet and somebody dies without getting to press any of their buttons at all.
Oh,
that was tense. They didn't have any damage really nearby. I don't know why he tried for that. Anyway.
You miss every hook you don't take?
Sure. And now it's, it's on cooldown.
Now it's on cooldown.
yeah. Oh, man. What about the hooks you don't get to take, Lumi? What about those ones?
Don't worry about it.
Alright. 147, running it. Ooh! Gets fogged. Can't get the Nightmare off. Not so much fun for him. The Bane is quite nice with the Timber Saw. If you happen to Nightmare somebody near a tree, it just gives Timber all of that time to set up like the perfect angle to drop his whole combo in one shot. It's quite nice. And Geek Fam, like you're saying, do feel like they're maybe stalling out a little bit. Next big item is going to be Scotty on the Terrorblade, and BKB on the Death Prophet. So I guess that's what they're looking at to start making more stuff happen in this game.
Do you feel that right now TNC is taking relatively the same game plan as they did in Game 2? Which is really all about kind of controlling the map, not exactly engaging into the Geek Fam team. Sure, if they find like a random hero somewhere, they'll kill him. But apart from that, they are looking to control the jungle, take some tier 2s. But I think the big difference this game is that Geek Fam is getting enough farm to get by, and there will be a moment where Terrorblade is coming out the fight. And I do feel like TNC is maybe giving them too much time.
Yeah, this smoke was spotted, so TNC probably not going to get caught here. I do feel it's really I think the other thing that really stands out to me as being quite similar is it's another game where TNC have very heavily itemized to make the position 3 and position 4 on Geek Fam less effective. They've been buying the 4-stabs again. There's even like a Yules on the Timber Saw, which is also kind of helpful. I mean, he needs it against the silences, but also the silence from the Death Prophet, but it does just seem to me like TNC have seen a little bit of a hole in the way that Geek Fam's lineup fits together, and they're exploiting that really well. Though, like you're saying, Geek Fam are finding more in this game. And March gonna drop a Dream Coil here, both sides spamming out some spells, but Geek Fam do have lots of people coming around the corner. Can they actually kill off this Timber Saw is the question, though. He's quite tanky. He's just picked up his Bloodstone, and Playhard might just end up being the first few charges. Yep, there you go. Raven picks up the killing spree. They run 4 heroes into the Timber, but they just can't feel like they can. They don't feel like they can do anything there, even with Vision on the Shrine.
I really think that the only core that they can kill right now is Shadow Fiend, and once he gets the BKB, you can't kill any of the cores if you're Geek Fam, unless you have the burst damage from Terrorblade.
Surge on Tim's. Cuckoo 4-stabs himself up onto the high ground just to keep on farming. Looks like realizing that the real Terrorblade is getting out of there. Yeah, the way that Raven is playing, he's feeling the same way, right? He's like, I'm a god at the moment. There's no way that they can kill me. Even if they do kill me, they're going to be committing 5 heroes. I'm fine with that.
I think that's the mentality you need to have if you're a core player. You need to be like a teenage edgy. You know, you gotta feel yourself a bit.
Yeah. You gotta have that. Oh, I don't want to say like killer mindset, right? But you have to be a little bit cocky sometimes.
Yeah, for sure. And if you're more of a timid, nice, mellow guy, then you play support. Nothing wrong with that.
No.
Just,
I mean, there's some.
requires a different mindset.
We have some very stable carries in the scene as well, though, right? There's like
who?
I'm gonna say, maybe No Tail. He's mellowed out, right? He's a pretty mellow.
Are
dude.
you kidding me?
Huh?
Have you not seen clips of No Tail like?
That was the
shouting
old
out
No
18
Tail. That was the Fnatic. That's Fnatic
All
No
right,
Tail.
it's a same No Tail.
Is OG No
that
Tail
I've seen at
still
Summit.
the same? Okay, all right.
I mean, he might not be like as crazy as before, but he still got the fire. The only two players that I know that is very calm as carry player is Burning and Mr. Tyler Cook. But Tyler Cook will send you to the abyss of
suffering.
suffering. So I don't know. Maybe he's a edgelord too.
What about Fear? I mean, I guess he's not.
Yeah, Fear. No, Fear definitely is on that list.
Yeah, he's definitely on the chill carry list. I loved it. I think there was actually some kind of problem with what they were using. But do you remember at TI1 when they hooked the players up to heart rate monitors and tried to show them during the game, like, oh, they had their heart rate
Fear's
changing?
was just like,
yeah,
not
they had it hooked up to Fear, and it was just a flat line, middle of a team fight.
Oh man. Oh, that's hilarious. That's a quality meme, man.
Yeah, that was a good time in Dota's history. Anyway, TNC into the Roshan pit. They are losing a tier 2 down bottom. Geek fam cleaned through that, and now they're TPing over towards their shrine. They are gonna send TNC packing. All right, Geek fam maybe hitting a little bit of a timing here. The BKB up on the Death Prophet, able to play more confidently. Level 18, not too far away. That's gonna be another fairly big power spike. And Terrorblade, what's up?
I just feel like TNC isn't doing anything to progress them winning the game. Like, they're trying to map control, but normally when you successfully map control, you pull ahead in terms of net worth. The net worth has been like even for the past, what, 5-7 minutes? And eventually, I think Terrorblade and Death Prophet out carries, right?
I think so. I think that the Death Prophet does start to taper off a little bit, but I think the Terrorblade is quite scary this game in terms of their ability to deal with him. I mean, he still hasn't been forced into buying a BKB or anything just yet. He may not even need to buy BKB because he's always kind of got the Oracle behind him. So in terms of locking him down, it's really tough.
It really depends on how TNC plays it. If TNC identifies that they have to go on Oracle first, and they probably should and will, then Ollie will die in the beginning of the fight, and then Terrorblade will have to buy BKB. That's probably the best way for TNC to...
Oh man, DD just spawned in front of Roche. TNC... Well, it's getting it's getting flare scouted nonstop, so okay, they just want to take a fight here. I don't know if they can go on this Death Prophet. They do have good vision here, but Geek fam not too far away, just around the corner. Puck with there's like tons of room down here at bottom now, so Puck can actually shove the lane really far. But alright, TNC, into the pit they go. This is going to be the challenge. This is how they're going to force them to come and take a fight. I hope they haven't bitten off more than they can chew. Clockwork does have a hook shot ready to go.
Yeah, they have to back. Roches.
Yeah, Roche is slapping Raven on the way out. Do you like this Lotus Orb on the Timber? I guess it's something else for the Terrorblade to watch out for. I was just trying to think, like, how is it better than just getting a BKB? But I guess it's weaker against Dreamcoil, but stronger against Sunder.
Oh, in fact, Geek fam's gonna walk in. This is getting really scary. If TB gets this Aegis, this is gonna be rough.
Yeah, they pop meta. They do have the Exorcism also running. Sam She jumps in, vacuum wall. BKB's gonna get popped. Death Prophet now going to the Dream Coil. Comes out onto a couple. Raven trying to reset. Darkseer stuck in the middle of everything. Damage is still alive. Oh my god, the Terrorblade dropping really low, but he's already been ulted up. Can he heal through this? He's about to get dropped. The burst strike from TNC catching onto both cores. The BKB ran out. Raven now waiting for the clockwork down on the ground. Chakram's gonna finish him off. Did he reflect the...
Yes, he did.
The Sunder? Oh.
Yes, he did. There was 2 amazing plays in that engagement. Raven might be... he's fine. 2 amazing team fight play. The first one is the one that you call out, which is he echo shield and then he reflected the Sunder, which is what I think ultimately won them team fight. The second one was when the Darkseer blinked vacuum. Hold that thought here. March should be able to make it out of here. He's got blink. Well, maybe not.
A little bit of trouble. Orb, phase.
They have Yules. Yules again. Chakram under him. And
the phase. Blink.
Oh, still alive. And he should be fine.
the super short range illusory orb. Like, I'm out. I made it.
Yeah, so at the beginning of the fight, the TNC wanted to blink vacuum into blink burrow strike with epicenter backup, but Clockwork was able to actually catch the Sand King, so they prevented a ton of burst damage and stun coming out from TNC. So that was really well played. And then we saw the other great play was the Echo Shield, which ultimately saved the team fight. I think if Sunder went off, that was completely a different fight.
Yeah, Terrorblade comes out of the ulti with way more health, and then just probably right clicks everybody to death because he does so much damage. His build is 100% damage oriented, no real utility at all, no Hurricane Pike. It's just right click everybody as hard as you possibly can, buy as much agi as you can. So he's going to be going for the Daedalus up next. We saw what happened with that in the first game. He melted Shadow Fiend in like 2 seconds flat. SF this time around is going to be going for a Butterfly. The armor is going to be helpful against both the TB and the Death Prop. Of course, the evasion also going to be good against. The thing about Geek Fem, they pretty much only have physical damage going into the late game. Oh, they have the chain stun here. March. Taking damage, gonna drop a troop, 2-man coil. They've got some help coming in the form of the Clockwork. Hookshot's in. Darkseer's in big trouble. They have bitten off way more than they can chew trying to go for this puck. And down they go.
So Puck has been going for this relatively defensive build so far with the Lincolns. And then now he's gonna go into Dagon. Do you feel like those are the right item choice? Or would you want to see something else? Can I throw out also a suggestion to kind of into the equation?
Yeah. Here, get me thinking here.
So game 1, we saw Geek Fam in this position where they were losing, and then they got a Aghanim Scepter.
Yep.
Now, granted, there's not as many BKB, it's just the Shadow Fiend, but I feel like it really complements the Death Prophet really well.
Yeah, and even the Terrorblade, right? And in that fight, we saw that, like in this fight over at the Roshan Pit, the Timber got hit by the Dream Coil, and then he just chained himself over to the tree line over here, and was able to kind of disengage. But if it's an Ag's Coil, then he just gets stunned, and isn't really able to do anything. So yeah, I'm inclined to agree. I can see the idea behind the Lincolns, right? If you can throw it on one of your other cores, or even just using it for yourself to make sure that you can't ever get focus down first, because you don't want the Oracle to ever have to use False Promise on you. But yeah, I'm inclined to agree that I think the little bit of extra teamfight control would also be good. Cuckoo is just pushing Terrorblade all the way back into his base, and Terrorblade, having seen the Butterfly, is actually just going to queue up an MKB instead of the Daedalus. Alright, TNC with a smoke. They're hoping that somebody is going to come and farm and push out this bottom wave. They do get a sneaky ward up on the high ground. They spot the Terrorblade. They know that that's the real one, but they also know now that his team is a little bit behind him. Cuckoo going to clear out the illusion, still has the Aegis in hand. He's going to be the siege engine, but he's taking plenty of damage just off these TB illusions. Raven now going to move forward into the front line, but he does not have any reactive armor stacks just yet. So still has to be a little bit wary, though. He does actually have 50 HP regen, even without even with that active armor.
Wow, when you throw the soul vessel, hold on, thought.
Yep. A little bit of trouble. Force staff, glimmer, nice dodge on the hook. Geek fam still chasing. They want more, but I think they're out of stuff to catch at this point.
There's some really good war vision on the Radiant side of the map, but unfortunately TNC, or rather Geek fam, can't really use it now.
He's just gripped. He just walked up, threw a spirit vessel onto the Shadow Fiend, looked at his mini map, and was like, oh wait, nobody else is here, and just got straight up Fiend script.
I mean, who cares if his team was there? He doesn't have hook. Like, I don't know how he was gonna initiate.
Yeah. All right. Well, SF losing the Aegis has a double damage at the moment. Raven playing around a little bit with the Terrorblade up top. Does have his MKB now completed. Shiva's going to be the next item for the Timbersaw. Gets that delivered, and what are they going to do? Raven's up onto the high ground. There is a glyph available. Reflection doing a little bit of work, but Raven just running interference as they do move forward into this fight. Able to timber chain himself outside of the base. Nice angle. March jumping forward. Dream Coil is back up and ready to go. He is queuing up the Agony Scepter on his quick buy. Force staff away from Cuckoo. They're still kiting nicely. Once again, these lockdown problems that we were kind of talking about for Geek Fam rearing their ugly heads. So hopefully they can give some more farm to this puck, get the Ags, and then the Force stabs are going to be much less effective.
All right, TNC did what they couldn't do in game 1, which is take that pesky tier 3 and now open up the map even further by taking the shrine.
1400 timber chain range, Lumi. I can't even show how far it is. It's
you gotta do the zoom out.
Yeah, I'm zoomed all the way out, and Timbersaw's in one corner, and then there you go.
Jesus, that is far.
That's insane.
All right.
How do you,
as
how do
a
you
player,
even use it?
Yeah, as a player, like you just click in a direction and you just go.
Yeah, I guess that's, yeah. At this point, you no longer have to target the trees. You're just like, yeah, there's some trees in this direction somewhere, and away I go. It's pretty nice, actually. Does it make you much more likely to have the like weird buyback or bloodstone situation happen to you because
your chain is so much longer?
You're traveling so much further?
Oh, I don't know if that will work with bloodstone. Like if you have a really high bloodstone charge where you have insta spawn but you're dying in the middle of a chain, that has to work, right?
Yeah, I think it does.
Oh, and you could purposely time it with suicide too? That can be sick.
That's the strat. Who needs 8% whirling death attribute reduction?
Yeah. I'm actually sure that's pretty good in this game too against Terrorblade, but
yeah. Guilty got almost 200 agi. So instead of reducing 30, you're reducing an extra 16, 46.
But we both know that the left talon is the way to go. I mean, like the normal timber chain is like flying economy, and this is like having your own jet.
Yeah. Fortunately, can't bring anybody with him, but you know, that's what. Well, we need to give Timbersaw the old ball lightning. That's where it's at. Pull people along with you. That was a weird time. But anyway, we got a blink on. We got blink Sam H. He's got the solar crest again. I think it's just this game. It's probably more for I want to save my cores from Terrorblade damage.
Terrorblade's got the MKB though, so I'm not sure how effective that will be.
I think the armor's also helpful though. Oop, hook attempted onto Raven. Is he just gonna disappear? Show me that timber chain. I mean, that's a regular old timber chain. I want to see some extreme timber chains.
You want him to go for the tree that's like 3 times as far away, even though he doesn't.
Yeah, why not?
For a style.
Why not just go all the way across their base, dude? He can reach the back of their base right now.
He actually can.
Just
and
start.
Then he dies.
Just start leading them in circles, like timber chain into the back of their base. They run after you. You timber chain out of their base. He's almost got Ags. That's a very big damage upgrade for Timbersaw. If you have the mana to support it. I guess he ditches the hood at that point.
Oh, March heard us.
Yeah, no, yeah, he got the he decided on the, I think he just saw that top, like what happened in this top fight, or even what happened at bottom, and it's just like, all right, screw it. My team has damage. My other 2 cores are damage personified. I just need to be locked down.
No, he saw the Twitch.tv Beyond the Summit. I'm just kidding, guys.
Definitely not. We got 5 minutes of delay.
Yeah.
Anyway, SF has a Satanic Butterfly. He's going to get jumped on here. Can they burst him down? BKB Satanic gets up onto the high ground, but still stunned up. Death Prophet following after him. But does Death Prophet actually have the survivability to just stand here and go toe-to-toe? She's draining down health. Kuka getting right-clicked to death. Gets the Requiem out. He's already used the Satanic. He's going to be finished off, but Raven finds the Terrorblade. He doesn't have his Lotus for a couple of seconds. Knows that he has to reset a little bit further across. He will actually be able to sunder his own Oracle. Sam H trying to escape, but he's out of mana. It all falls to Raven at this point. Tim's also jumping in with the burst strike, but gets silenced. He's finished off. 3 dead so far from TNC, and Geek Fam still just running towards them. Sam H gonna try and tap this shrine, but he still gets nuked down by the Crypt Swarm. And in the end, it's only Raven who will be able to go and cut some waves. He actually has to go and cut the mid wave right now.
It's the same story again, man. They just go late and they get out carried. Raven walks in and now he just gets punched. All right, he cooks away. What if he like missed a tree?
Go.
Doesn't matter the range if there's no tree.
Yeah, if there's no tree on that line, then all right. At least he can defend with the double chakram, but
so what happened in that team fight was after Shadowfiend came out of the stun, he activated his Satanic, and honestly, he didn't even lose that much HP. He was just stunned for a long time, but he had his BKB on him. After he Satanic, he Requiem, but then Shadowfiend was just getting hit by Terrorblade. I think if he delayed his Satanic usage, I think he would have survived much longer. I don't know if they're gonna win the fight, because honestly, I don't know where the hell the damage is coming to actually kill the Terrorblade. They're pretty much relying on the Echo Shield actually preventing the Sunder from coming out, and to me, that's just relying on too much.
And now they're inside of the pit. Making quick work of it. Exorcism's still on cooldown for 35 seconds. The chakrams are hurting the Terrorblade a lot, but all right, they're gonna be able to top him off. He's always got that Sunder. They did get quite close to finishing him in that last fight, but it's like close is not good enough, right? And the Oracle is probably hovering his false promise on him the entire time, just waiting for the moment that he needed it. So.
To me, they also don't have an answer for the Death Prophet right now. You're saying that she's tapering off, but the way I see it is that she's still getting items. She blinked into a Shadow Fiend as a Death Prophet and had no worry about it because she has BKB for that Requiem. So, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean she's only chewed through 2 BKB charges so far, so the Timber is still not a threat for her really at all. And even then, she's got 3k health, so just gonna be tough to burst. I mean, maybe Timber Dagon. It's definitely a 6-slot item for the Timber, but gonna take him a bit. What, are you laughing at this Mud Golem?
No,
No.
Timbersaw was trying to get hit by the Ancients to get some reactive stack, but he has a Shiva scar, so those Mud Golems are just not hitting.
All right, Arcane Rune, Exorcism pop, Shadow Fiend coming around the corner, does have a Shadow Blade, double Chakram onto the Death Prophet. If they could force the False Promise early, that would be great, but not going to be quite so easy. Roshan dropping very low. Can they go in? Timbersaw also jumping in with the Dark Seer. They don't get the vacuum off. He actually got stunned up, it looks like, by the Dream Coil, and now Timbersaw left alone on a little bit of an island. He's being silenced up, does pop the Echo Shell, able to Timber Chain himself out of there. Sam H is low, 147's dead, and Geek Fam just too strong when they're all fighting together. Gonna march down mid.
It's happening again.
Yep.
Well,
and
wave is being cut.
yeah, but they still have to clear this existing wave. There's also a glyph. All right, just waste a little bit more of TB's meta duration, but as soon as this glyph ends, he's going to be able to pop everything and just go to town. Tier 3 dropping in a couple of seconds. Double Chakram not doing nearly enough. Aegis on the TB. They're going to Yules him to buy a few more seconds. SF coming in from behind, but can he actually kill anybody? That's the question. He's desperately hunting for this Oracle, but there's a Sentry Ward down. He gets pushed back. He's being rooted. He pops the BKB, but he won't be able to get off the Satanic.
Oh,
the
no.
hook shot from Play Hard. So good. Now the Dream Coil's coming out. He's going to get snapped midway through. He's dead. Buyback is available for Raven, but it looks like it might actually be Geek Fam securing their date with Fnatic a little bit later on. I mean, what can they do?
Looking, yeah, more like it.
Yeah, they're not even going for more lanes of racks. It looks like they might just Might just hit the tier 4. Sand King's trying to get into a good position. All right, there's the buyback. Vacuum it into the burst strike. Do they have the epicenter? They don't. Do they have enough damage to get the grip onto the Terrorblade? But he immediately gets hit by the false promise, turns around with the reflection, and will now be able to start right-clicking through everybody. Tim's buys back. The Sunder is still available, so Kimberlu actually just waiting to see what his health situation is. The epicenter comes through. He also has the Aegis. Another Sunder in 1 second's time finally gets brought down by the Chakrams. Death Prophet's quite low, does need to be careful. Only one Spirit Siphon left. Sam H, no vacuum. Tim's with another Burst Strike, ready to go. Can he find 2? Yes, he will. They bring down the Clockwork.
Okay.
Now the Puck also dead for 100. Terrorblade trying to man fight this. Does have that Sunder ready to go. The Oracle just sitting outside of the base. Does get off another False Promise. He's doing his best to right-click through, but Raven is not going to let him go. And they've got another Burst Strike. They focus on the Oracle first. Terrorblade does manage to right-click down the Sand King.
Oh my god.
Oh my god, he's actually got another Sunder. He's going to right-click through Sam H. Where's Raven gone? He Timber Chain too far away. There's the Echo Shell. Very well played by Raven. Turned up, put the Echo Shell on himself. Couldn't get sundered. And they do manage to hold at the 11th hour.
Oh, Raven now will push with 124 damage against Melee Baron.
Get him.
All right, he got a buyback. I mean, against the puck, you just ignore that puck and you just keep hitting the building. This is going to be the slowest push.
If you're Puck, do you ignore the Timber, just clear this wave, and then go clear the wave outside the base? Like
maybe. Yeah, sure. Get off the backdoor protection.
Yeah, just re-enable your back. Yeah, go March, go! Don't even worry.
Well, he
I guess he could
accomplished
die.
the same thing, right? He got Raven off the Rex.
Yeah. But now the double wagon, Lumi. The double wagon, it's here.
But it's only hitting the range Rex. All right, he now switches target to the range Rex.
Yeah, you just got to kill the range Rex first.
Okay. There you go.
All right, there you go. Laner Rex coming up.
Raven's actually gonna get this Rex by himself. That's actually insane.
By himself. 2 siege creeps. Never get any credit.
Sure. Actually, it's. I think the siege creep did way more than him.
Yeah. He was just kind of the bodyguard. All right, and now mid. Tier 3 dropping. Terrorblade unwilling to use this buyback. They still have a glyph, in fact. Bottom tier 3 also gone.
Okay.
TNC finding a foothold. What's the buyback situation here? In fact, this could get dicey really quickly. Blink in, double Spirit Siphon, Drain Coil out onto the Shadow Fiend, but do they have damage in range? That's the question. Hook shot forward by the Clockwork. Bane does have a Glimmer Cave, gonna just sit there inside of the cogs. Gets the grip over onto the DP, but they get the vacuum onto the Oracle. He does finally manage to get the False Promise off. The TB is back, up and alive. He's TPing in. What can he actually find? He's getting kited around a little bit. He TP'd into the wall. 147's about to die. Tries for the Nightmare. Can't deny himself anymore with that, so will still get brought down. And over at bottom, looks like Darkseer's 90 damage talent went to work on the range Drax. Mid-range Drax is gone. And the Geek fan base is actually in shambles, Lumi.
Wow. This game just got hella interesting really fast.
Yeah, I thought, like, oh, yep, Terrorblade just hit some tier 4s. And that's the end of that. But Tim's and Raven both saving the game inside the Radiant base. It feels like in the last few fights, the Shadow Fiend has done basically nothing.
Yeah, he really hasn't, right? Because I just don't think that this build is able to man up and right-click against both the Death Prophet and the Terrorblade. And to me, I actually think that Death Prophet is kind of the secret carry here. Well, maybe not so secret. I mean, a lot of the attention is focused on Terrorblade, and Ollie's probably going to false promise him most of the time, but a lot of the chaos and a lot of the damage is really done by the Death Prophet, especially with his Shiva Scar, the silence. And that Octarine is allowing him to, cast a bunch of that throughout the fight.
Yeah, what talent did he go for? Extra Ghosts. Okay.
Instead of the haste.
Yeah, they're both quite good. I mean, the argument against the Ghosts is that Exorcism at this point already takes a really long time for all of the spirits to come out, so you lose a little bit of value there, but given that they are probably one good team fight away from potentially ending the game, not too surprised to see it. Also, the Puck's not really scaling in terms of damage, though he does have a Dagon 4 as I say that, so
yeah.
Maybe it's.
I think if you're Death Prophet and you have Blink Dagger, you generally want to get the more ghosts, because the idea of the Blink
you have mobility covered.
Yeah, the idea of the Blink is to maximize your damage output, so you're building more of a damage build, and the Blink kind of substitute as the extra mobility that you get from the haste of the Exorcism. Obviously not nearly as good, but
yeah. So Raven has picked up a heart, just tanking up even further on this Timbersaw. I don't know if this is going to let him go toe-to-toe with the Terrorblade, but I guess it also allows him to kind of play like Slark in some ways, right? You got a super long-range Timber Chain. If you're getting gone on in the fight, you can just Timber Chain out, wait for the heart regen to kick in, re-engage. You're maybe leaving people out on an island at that point, though. Like we saw Sam H in that last fight. Like Timber Chained away, and Terrorblade just turned towards him. It's like, hey friend, where's your Timbersaw gone?
But here's the thing, unlike a Slark, you don't actually like do more damage as the fight goes on. So I don't know if Raven is actually doing enough damage. I feel like Dagon 5 is exactly where you want to be at, because you put that Terrorblade low enough and then you just make him start second guessing himself. Like, do I need a Sunder early to play around the Dagon?
And same for the Oracle, right?
Yeah.
It's like...
And now with the heart, like, honestly, sure, Timbersaw may die more if he doesn't have the heart, but I don't feel like his survivability was the issue in these team fights. It's just whether they kill people fast enough.
All right, TNC smoke. They see the puck on mid. They're looping around. Who can they find? That's the big question. Puck still has that Lincoln's. Difficult to pop. He's hiding in the trees. March, knowing that he's relatively safe. His orb is actually on cooldown right now. They're going to let go with the Requiem. They're trying for the vacuum as well. They're just committing everything that they have. He blinks a little bit further away. Raven continues pursuit. And now the Clockwork coming in, gets the hook. 147, able to reset the cogs, actually preventing Geek Fam from pushing up that hill, but they will instead just go straight up the mid lane. Tim's does have another burrow strike in a second. Doesn't want to use it defensively. He's going to get surged away by Sam H. Raven just laying down the chakrams, making sure that this wave is not closing in on them too much, though there are some catapults pushing in on mid, and the Radiant Courier actually ends up going down. All right. TNC, I guess both teams are just posturing for Roche at the moment, kind of find a pick off. We're also in a situation where buybacks are quite easy to force, it also feels like, so a pick off is actually really impactful.
All right, we're seeing Bloodthorn out of Shadow Fiend. Or so far just an Orchid, but I guess eventually will be Bloodthorn.
Yeah, he's got it queued up. All right, I guess he just has to find that like couple of second window in a fight where he can just sit there and auto attack. Did he sell his Shadow Blade?
No slash blade, right? Yeah.
Yeah. I think the Shadow Blade was supposed to be like, I'm gonna go. Don't worry, guys. I'll go kill the Oracle, and maybe the Orchid is also supposed to be kind of the same thing, right?
Remember he tried to Shadow Blade back into the fight in the mid lane and he just died because they still have detection. I don't think we're late enough in the game where Shadow Blade magically becomes a good item game because nobody has space for the detection.
Yeah, Clockwork has a gem and Oracle has plenty of room for sentries, so... Alright, what's going on over top here? They do get the grip over onto the puck. Do they have enough damage? That's the question. Where's the Dagon 5? They don't need it. They do have a Bane getting brought down. Raven, Timber Chain. He grazes by the cogs. He's got another chain. He's okay.
Oh man. He's baiting
the Terrorblade pops meta. He can't afford to back down, really. Are they going to try and burst in? Tim's is a little bit dangerous, perhaps. SF also playing it pretty defensively. Cuckoo not willing to engage. I do think it's worth it to just...
There's an Aeon's Disc on Mr. Sankey.
I think this item's great on SK, to be honest.
I also think that the status resistance actually is quite good in a game like this.
Yeah, even if it gets popped, you're still potentially getting out of a silence a little bit faster, or Dream Coil stun, something like that.
Let's see. He has how much status resistance right now?
So he has 12.9 from his being strength
stats,
and then he has 25%, and it stacks multiplicatively. It's got like 30-something% probably. The Hex up on the Terrorblade. All right, that's going to be the ultimate force out of the Oracle. It's only a 30-second cooldown. It's not a big deal to use it like this, but all right, that is a Hex being unveiled on the Darkseer. SF opting for the more right-click oriented build this game.
I think that's correct. Like, I don't think the whole hexing the Terrorblade and try to kill him.
It's not gonna work.
Yeah, you just need to out DPS him.
All right, Cuckoo really wants this Roshan. It's Roshan number 3. Aegis Cheese and Shard all ready to go. He picks up that regen rune, but before he actually heals up, Actually got it canceled
He
by the
has
Spirit
Satanic,
Vessel.
so I don't think
Yeah.
he's too worried about it.
Ooh, Reflection doing some damage. Cuckoo just wants this Roshan so badly. He's going to put the Satanic, but he actually gets bashed up by Rosh. Pops the BKB now. Who's going to get the Aegis? He does manage to pick it up just barely. Clockwork's trapped by the bomb, and now they vacuum everybody into the gun along with the wall. This is trouble for Terrorblade. What can he actually do? He gets the Sunder off. He manages to turn around and try and fight. Death Prophet also surviving for a little bit. Oracle gets found on the backlines. They should be able to burst him down. That's Shadow Fiend's first life done. He's going to try and turn and fight the Force stats. Can they get him out of here? It looks like they won't be able to. They can't escape the Death Prophet. They can't escape the Terrorblade. He's got another Sunder. This Lotus Orbe's not going to last too much longer. Raven is actually already quite low. He's getting Dagon down. He's now being silenced. Doesn't have any cooldowns left. He can
just
pop the
walks
Bloodstone
away.
Suicide. He's actually just tanking it up. Lumi the Heart. It's doing it.
Well, here's the
He's
problem.
running out of here.
Tron stole the refresher shard too, so he's gonna have a second exorcism for the base push.
Oh no!
Really
he
bad.
has to try and escape Burst Strike out onto 2. There's the Lotus.
Okay.
Sam H coming in. Hex. Can they finish the Timber Saw? Yes, they can. Dead for 40. TB Illusions are pushing mid. And Tim's does
Aeon
get his
Disc.
Aeon Disc popped. He's got to burrow away. He's just trying to waste their time, I think. It's like just stay here, guys. Just keep looking at me. Don't push our base.
Man, the Clockwork Cog kind of dragged Shadow Fiend away from the other two items on the ground, so he was only able to pick up the Aegis. And then Death Prophet got the cheese and the refresher shard. And honestly, I think that's the bigger win for the team.
Yeah, because the Death Prophet didn't get ultied, right? There was a Terrorblade, I think, who got False Promised. And then the Death Prophet also healed up, and I was like, what the hell happened? And of course, he just got cheesed in the middle of the fight. Alright, they're going for bot racks. They can't get megas, unfortunately. They didn't force a buyback either. Man, TNC came away from that really unscathed, given how that fight played out.
Yeah, the fact that they chased for the Timber Saw was what I think ultimately led them not losing too much structure. And the second time I see the Satanic for Cuckoo not really doing anything, right? Like, getting bashed by Roshan is very unlucky, but
I know how to handle
Yeah.
such power.
Yeah, he can't just stand there and hit anybody. It's tough. They just up in his face all the time. The Terrorblade's up in his grill. The Terrorblade at one point wasn't even... Like, I don't think he was even meted. And he was just running after the SF punching him. It was... not fun. Alright, Geek Fam, they want to try and take a fight on their terms. Like you've been talking about, that Refresher Shard is ready to go. There's a Hex up on the Death Prophet. Buyback situation is looking pretty grim for the Radiant. They don't have a single one, so TNC... what you see is what you get. I think they do need a pretty big wall illusion out of this Darkseer. They're going to pop that first Exorcism, feeling confident. Hex coming in onto the Timber Saw. Just a little bit of harassment damage. They jump through with the Burst Strike onto the TB. He now gets Lincoln's up. Does get the Reflection out. Cuckoo just trying to find an angle to lay in here with the auto attacks. They're happy to let this Lane of Rex go. They just want a good catch if they can get it. Can they get a vacuum combo? That's the question. They get the Hex onto the TB. They're trying to keep him here. And the Exorcism still flying over the top of everything. The Dream Coil comes out onto 2. They get the Hex back. Look at the vacuum back. Now the Cogs jumping through from the Clockwork. What have they actually found? Hex onto the Shadow Fiend. He's just getting mowed down by the Exorcism. Cuckoo's dead. He does have a buyback available. Raven fighting as best he can, going up against March, going up against Playhard. He's on the front lines. Terrorblade's actually gone. Unable to survive through everything. Raven chasing them outside of the base. Looks like he should be able to find the Oracle, and they buy back on the Shadow Fiend, sensing an opportunity to maybe force some buybacks of their own. What happened to TB in that fight, Lumi? Did he just get... like, I guess he just got mowed down even through the Oracle ulti.
yeah, I guess so. I didn't really see how he died. I only saw the silences from the Death Prophet being super key. Like, the Sand King walked next to the Terrorblade, just waiting for that silence duration to end to Burrow Strike, but it never ended because the silence duration was so long from the Death Prophet. I honestly don't know how Terrorblade died, but TNC
he died
survives.
and he's bought back.
And now both teams only have one lane of racks left, but there's 2 towers up on TNC. I'm not sure how much that the 2 towers actually matter, because I do feel like Geek Fam has enough damage to go their own straight up if they have a good fight.
Puck maybe trying to save the buyback. Shadow Fiend's got DD, but he's out on an island at mid. Needs to rejoin the team. Most of the big control factors for TNC are dead right now, but no Oracle either for Geek Fam, so Terrorblade does have to be a little bit careful. Buyback now on the Puck, making his way in. Who can he find with the coil? That's the question. Sam H gonna try for the TP out. Actually gets it.
Oh.
Alright.
Raven, of course, has the long hook. He's out of there.
Cuckoo is the last remaining man who that they can try and catch. orbing after him. Hex going to be in range soon. He finds an Invis
Oh
rune.
my lord. He's out. Oh, they even use exorcism for this.
I mean, there's no way
kidding.
that...
No, just kidding.
No, this is still the end of the last one. Yeah, all right. Well, no, this is the second one. The refresher showed. It must be. All right. Death Prophet's dead. 100 seconds in the hole. Still 70 seconds to go on the exorcism. TNC. That might have been the game-winning Invis rune.
Oh my goodness. This game is just so clowny.
All right. Well, they've got a...
Are they gonna go for Vegas?
I don't know what they do. Buyback on the Death Prophet. 5-on-5 ready to go. Tim's vision up onto the high ground. His ward is going to get dealt with quickly. TNC take a high ground of their own, claiming their position. Roshan is still at least 2.5 minutes away. Yeah, I guess. Oh, nope. It's a smoke. It's a fake back.
Oh,
the line is drawn over towards top. 1437 looking to guide his team to victory in game 3. I wish we had the score pips, but you know, never mind. It all comes down to this fight. I think Cuckoo and the Terrorblade spot each other. BKB gets forced. There's the reflection. Can they get the Shadow Fiend out of here? He's just getting right click down. The Dreamcoat gets popped. He might be able to get off this Tanic and heal back up. Clockwork's up in his face. The Terrorblade just metamorphoses him down, but can they actually kill off the Terrorblade? It looks like they might be able to. He got hexed. He's dead. They're both down for 2 minutes. It's 4-on-4 now. They've also lost the Oracle Raven going hard on his Timbersaw. The Chakram just slaying everyone. The Reflected Hex. Death Prophet being controlled. The Exorcism doing some work, but they are just going to kite it out. It's 2 dead against 1 dead right now. The silence is too late. Timbersaw does actually manage to chain himself out of there. March still chasing. The Hex is up. 1437. Can he do anything to help him? He's got the Glimmer Cape.
Long hook, please.
Still chasing. Another hook. Hexed up. Can they keep him alive? No, he's dead, but he does have buyback.
40 seconds respawn time.
Only dead for 40 seconds as well.
He's fine. Holy shit. Man. So we were seeing that the hook range increase. It's so long that the players can't even properly use it. Like, you don't even know where you're aiming because you can't actually see that far. Clockwork, by the way, has. Is he actually gonna come in? No, there's nobody helping.
Is this where you just start playing on the minimap as Timber? You're just like, I want to go here, and then you just click on the minimap with your.
Maybe as soon as you buy the axe, like they should do a different coloring on the minimap for all the trees, just like.
Well, I mean, you know it's the talent, right? It's not the... But yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah, exactly. When
like part of the Ags upgrade. Okay, yeah.
So you can actually see where the hell you're hooking. Like,
yeah. Well, it would be interesting if it showed active trees, right? Because the minimap doesn't actually show...
True.
Which trees are alive or not.
Although, that also is a problem, because the minimap can't show trees that are cut down on high grounds or something, right? You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. It's like information that you shouldn't have.
Alright, here's what Raven needs to do. Raven needs to go back and learn every tree in this game and just play. 1,000
games Timbersaw.
Yeah.
Come back.
How many trees are in Dota? It's a 5-digit number, right? Or is it 4?
I think it's a 4-digit number.
Okay. 5 seems like a lot.
You know what, Lumi? You could turn around and you could tell me, oh yeah, it's a 5-digit number, some 5-digit number, and I would probably believe you. So it just depends on how convincing you were.
I wouldn't believe it. 5 sounds like
5 sounds like too much.
There's exactly 1,437 trees.
There you go.
That's exactly why Bane, or rather, Demon picked that name.
Alright, what else is going on here? Nothing. I feel like the players are probably, we're tense. For the players, they're 100 times more tense. Like that last team fight where they lost the Shadow Fiend, everybody on TNC's, like, their minds were just going, we have to find an important kill, right? Like, we have to kill the Terrorblade. Yep. Otherwise, the game would have just been over. So, and this is game 3. We don't need to, we can remind people of the stakes, right? Loser of this game is out. And winner of this game moves on to play against Fnatic a little bit later to keep their hopes alive. TNC also probably want to claim revenge against Fnatic, right? Because they beat them in the best of 5 the other day for the other major qualifier. Or is it also a major?
Yes.
ESL? Yeah. So TNC definitely would like to go and eliminate Fnatic from this qualifier if possible, but they got to get through Geek Fam first.
Well, it's a different Fnatic, right? With Ohio,
Yeah.
Ohio gone, so I don't know.
Let's see. All right, Hex up onto the Bane. Can they burst him down? Force staff away. Dreamcoil only going to catch onto the Timber Saw. Now the Shadow Fiend getting bursted down. Dagon in the face. Nightmare to help keep him alive. He turns around. BKB Satanic heals up a little bit. Can he actually hit anybody here? He's looking towards the Terrible Blade. He's going to try and pop his Sunder. What can he actually do? They're mowing down two. They're both dead. Raven now has to find some very important kills in the backlines. Tim's jumping in with the Epicenter, but Terrorblade is still standing strong. Gets Yulesed up into the air, but they still haven't killed anyone on the Geek fam side. Tim's is running for the hills. Raven's over on the other side of the fight. Clockwork finds a regen rune, a gift from Ice Rog himself, and Geek fam straight into the pit. I guess they maybe don't know SF's buyback status at the moment. It's only on cooldown for another 36 seconds, in fact. So not the full respawn duration.
The fact that the Hex is not dispellable is such a big problem for TNC because they just have no way to actually counterplay the Hex. They're trying to glimmer him, they're trying to push him away, but in between all of the continuous disable that Geek Fam's throwing on him, there's so much damage actually on Shadow Fiend, but he just actually can't use any of it. He was able to get off one crit against the Terrorblade, and Terrorblade like lost a quarter of his HP.
Yeah, it chunked him for sure. But
he has buyback now.
yeah,
he might need to use it.
Raven clearing out the wave.
Refresh the shard.
A long way back.
Used.
I mean, they have to go for end here. There's still a tier 2 top. You're gonna jump in, Hex onto the Timber Saw, resisting a little bit of that status. You get the jump in, Burst Strike, False Promise coming out, another Hex perhaps being a little bit wasted here. Terrorblade still has a decent amount of the Metamorphosis duration left. He actually refreshed in that last fight, so he's got back-to-back metas. Now the Glyph coming out, Shadow Fiend going to be respawning in a couple of seconds, trying to save the buyback. The Illusion actually doing so much work onto Mark Trevec, along with the wall. Mass walls out of the Dark Seer. Could that be the answer? They get the grip onto the Death Bomb, but they don't have a way to save her. They Hex the Terrorblade as he comes back up. He's trying to navigate in between the walls, but he's about to fall. No Sunder available. TNC still chasing Tim's. What can he get done here? He finds the Clockwork. Do they even need to bother with him? Terrorblade going to be buying back into the game. And now Raven looking for more charges on this Bloodstone. He finishes off the Clockwork. Shadow Fiend managing to hold on to the buyback there after all is said and done. But got to show that fight recap.
Holy shit. Look at the damage on Terrorblade, or not Terrorblade, well, Terrorblade and the Timber Saw. Yeah, you know, earlier when they picked the Timber Saw, I was like, oh my god, I don't think Timber could carry that hard. I've never seen Timber carry this hard. And he's carrying with these items. There's no Dagon here. Straight up doing it with double Chakram.
He's got a Necro 3 limit.
Okay.
He's got the backpack Necro 3. Oh my god, Raven. He is prepared for this push. He's going to sub it out. They're coming in. They want the Mega Creeps at the very least.
Poke to the tree. Let's go.
Yeah. Alright. Melee barracks gone. Second melee barracks about to be gone. The Ancient is exposed. Necro 3 going to work. He's got the Arcane Rune. He's 4.2k health worth of just absolute destruction. Terrorblade has to be careful. I have to say, the false promises on Terrorblade have not been saving him in nearly the way that I was expecting. This game, they managed to pop the Lincolns on the puck. He's going to be hexed up as well. Buyback out of the Death Prophet. There's the false promise, but that means it isn't available for the other cores, at least for a little bit. And the Dream Coil is a total whiff. Puck needs to be careful. Still taking some damage. Get some Dagon hits over onto the Shadow Fiend. Alright, Puck's gonna be okay. Clockwork's still dead for 30 seconds. TNC working their way through the tier 4s. Cuckoo hasn't been able to hit heroes, but he is damn well able to hit buildings, and now the Shadow Fiend's being hexed up. Can they save him this time around? Looks like Puck actually just playing evasively, and they are kiting the Death Prophet pretty effectively. Sandwich with his BKB Tims, able to hide inside the Sandstorm. March is getting right-clicked down, and now these creeps are surging into the base. They're swarming everybody on Geek Fam. It's actually absorbing all of the exorcism damage, and it means the Death Prophet's hardly doing anything. Can they gash his TB? He gets the BKB off just in time, but he's also being kited. Can't right-click anyone down. The Timber Saw hexes up the Death Prophet. Can they burst DP? Nice Fate's Edict, but the Exorcism's just about to come back. They're controlling the TB now with the Yules. TNC running circles around him. He pops the Refresher just to get the BKB off again, but they finally lose Cuckoo. He does have buyback, but I think he considers saving it here, and TNC might just come back to fight this another day. They did get the Mega Creeps. They did get both of the tier 4s, and they did force a buyback out of the Death Prophet.
And the game goes on. Okay, so a couple of things that's when you talked about the the false promise. It's not that the false promise isn't good. It's just that when you place it on the carry, he's either hexed up, which means you still can't right click, or look at 1437's talent tree. He's taken the enfeeble damage reduction. When he throws enfeeble on Terrorblade, he actually does no damage. That's insane. Like,
yeah, that's crazy.
Bane by himself counters Terrorblade. Well, not as illusion, but you know what I mean. Like,
he still has illusions, but then that's what the Timbersaw is for.
Exactly.
Right?
The hero itself is not doing any damage. And Enfeeble is like the herpes of like debuff. You can't get rid of it. There's no Manta, there's no BKB, there's no like Orko doesn't get rid of it for you either. So it just sticks on you for the entire duration of the fight. And that's why it feels like the Terrorblade isn't doing anything.
Yeah, I mean, they also Yulesed him, and then they like just ran away from him. They did such a good job of just controlling the Terrorblade in that last fight. I really have to hand it to TNC. But oh man, what a fucking game.
It's not out of the realms that Geek Fam could still win this. Like I feel like if TNC like miscontrols, especially now that Shadow Fiend, I mean, he still has buyback. He's been doing very good job maintaining buyback, but yeah, it's still possible.
I think the other thing that we're seeing is like some of the discrepancy between what a Clockwork is able to do in the later stages of a game versus a Sand King. Like Tim's is consistently getting multi-hero burst strikes, or he's like finding the puck and actually locking him down, you know, popping his Lincolns with a Force Staff for the heals and then burst striking him. Whereas the Clockwork is just kind of a nuisance at this point, right? Like a well-timed hook shot.
I think that's about to change though. He just got Axe, so I do feel like his play level just got much higher. The ceiling just got a lot higher in terms of what his impacts can be, for sure. All right, Raven has an Octurne queued up. You talked about the undispellable Hex being a problem for TNC, but it's also turned out to be a bit of a problem for Geek Fam, right? Like you've been saying. Same, right? Yeah.
Same. False Promise duration is getting wasted on. Well, some of it is getting wasted on just being hexed a lot of the time.
220 damage reduction for Enfeeble.
Yep.
That's
that's pretty good. That's pretty good. You know, just take away what's a rapier? Rapier's 330, so 2/3 of a rapier. Not bad. Maybe that's what. Oh well, speaking of rapier, look at the Terrorblade quick buy. It's like if you're gonna take 220 damage away from me, there's only one solution.
I wonder if Nullifier might be a thing
good
in this game.
Maybe.
Because it gives you a ton of right-click damage, but it also gives you like an active.
Yeah,
but I guess
coming
he's
into
just
the base.
looking for damage.
TNC looking for this chance. This could be the last fight. Shadow Fiend's not there just yet, so I don't think they want to go too hard. Actually get the Hex up onto the Sand King. He does have his Aeon Disc, so he's going to be okay. BKB popped on the Death Prophet. They've got the coil out onto 2. Timbersaw not jumping that far away, but the stun is just about to fade. 147 also stunned up, but able to sidestep the hook. It is only a low cooldown for the Clockwork, as you mentioned. Does have that Ags. A little bit further up, Puck clearing the wave and able to blink himself out. We've got SF Illusions pushing in on the bottom side. Somebody has to go and deal with that, but Tim's is going to try and keep them down here as they now pressure in over on the other side of the base. TNC taking their position, trying to play with their Mega Creeps, relying on them to do damage and to pressure the throne. Shadowfiend going to lane with a couple of auto attacks. They hex up on the Terrorblade. They are going to pop the False Promise on him, but still being slowed down by the Chakrams. Doesn't have boots either, so actually very slow to move around in these fights. And Tim's just sitting in the Sandstorm. They're just relying on the creeps to do the job for them. They want to force the glyph if they can without really having to commit. March is going to pop the BKB. He walks forward, but what's that really doing? They hex at the Terrorblade once again. The double wall gets dropped down. There's way too much damage and they don't have the False Promise. He's down for 120 and that might just be the end of it. No Terrorblade grip used onto the Death Prophet. She's being controlled. Hexed up immediately after. Playhard will be able to cancel the Fiend's grip, but to what avail? They're actually just working their way through the Ancient. Raven chasing after Ollie. Cuckoo pops back up. He gets the Satanic off. Finally able to stand in man fight since the Terrible Dead. And with that, TNC will end gameplay up against Fnatic in the next round.
Wow, they had to earn that win, and they did. Holy shit, that was a series. Yeah, so you were talking about the Clockwork not doing a lot, and I was actually like watching his positioning in that last team fight. It turns out when there's Mega Creep in your base, that's like Clockwork, that is no bueno. Like, you just actually can't get hook angles at all. And it was very cool